If you feel like you can't wake up in the morning and function without a cup of coffee, that's a problem. And it's oftentimes tied to your natural cortisol levels. It's a problem because you should naturally have the energy to get up, to do things, to make decisions, to take care of business, to do whatever you need to do so that you get to, say, you get up, get everybody out the door, kids on the bus to school or camp or whatever they're doing. You get your work done, you run errands, you call to make an appointment, you check things off the list, right? And then after work, I got to make dinner. Oh, I got to do this or that, and taking care of things. But to be able to have the energy and the mental capacity to enjoy your life with your family, it's almost unfair to just wake up in the morning and give all of your best to your work. Hey there, welcome to the Female Health Solution podcast, where we discuss women's health, hormones, and everything else in between. Join me as we dive into the tools that you need to live your healthiest life. How do you really improve your cortisol levels? How do you improve your cortisol response? This is not an easy question to just answer and say, do these things, do these 3 things, do these 5 things. It would be so fantastic to be able to just list off some things that everyone could do, and then your cortisol would get better and stay better. Sounds great, right? Unfortunately, everybody is different, and what you may need to focus on to help improve your cortisol is going to be different than somebody else. Yeah, so hello, I'm Dr. Beth Westy. Welcome back to the Female Health Solution podcast. And we're going to deep dive into just a lot of things about cortisol, how to really improve this, and some different shifts and changes that I have seen in the female body from shifting and changing nutrition, exercise, supplementation, lifestyle changes, all of that stuff, and seeing on lab tests severe improvements in cortisol and also severe, we'll just say cortisol going in the other direction than we wanted it to. Yes. Now, first off, just to dive into this, cortisol, it gets a bad rap a little bit in terms of its marketing. Everybody thinks cortisol is bad. I shouldn't have cortisol, that type of thing. Cortisol is a natural hormone that your body releases from your adrenal glands in response to stressors, and we need cortisol. Cortisol should be at a certain level when we wake up in the morning, help us get up, get out of bed, start doing things. It peaks kind of mid-morning, and then it should start to come down the rest of the day. Now, can other things influence cortisol on a temporary basis? Yes. Things like caffeine or any other, we'll say, energy beverages, uppers of some kind can increase cortisol. If you're also taking certain medications that can influence cortisol, response, all of those things, and exercise that can also influence cortisol. So, for example, if you're having a hard time getting to bed at night and you're like, gosh, I really can't wind down and go to sleep very well, but you do a really intense workout late at night, not helping you go to sleep. Your body is literally too revved. I had this, like when I played football for the Minnesota Vixen, we sometimes would have our practices held late at night, meaning like 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., which is very late to be up and active and everything else, meaning practice would get done at 10. And then it would be like cool down, change out of stuff, leave, go home, all those things. So I'm getting home at 10:30, quarter to 11. And then having to shower and wind down. I'm not getting to bed till 11:30 or midnight, which was really, really late for me. It was really, really late. And as a mom who has 3 kids, all those things, I get up very early in the morning. It was not compatible with getting good amounts of sleep and having a regulated nervous system. So when we talk about that cortisol response and everything else in your day, keep in mind, there are other things that influence it. So if you're working out too heavy, too late at night, too intensely, too late at night, and you have to get up early, you're not going to have good cortisol levels. It's like dang near impossible, right? Now, does that mean you can't exercise at night? No, but you can do some type of activity, but do your more intense activity earlier in the day. That's best for your cortisol levels. And then at night, say after dinner, you want to go for a walk or something, or a light bike ride with your family. Great, right? Just nothing too intense where it's going to spike your heart rate and take you too much time to wind down to actually go to bed at a reasonable time. When I say reasonable time, again, optimally, you're looking to be asleep by 10 p.m. Why? That is when the release of a lot of different hormones and things in your system to help that repair system happen in your body overnight. Your body's job while it's sleeping is to rest, repair, regenerate. So if you're not getting to sleep early enough, the hormonal release can't really happen. The other thing that your body does while sleeping at night is detox. Your brain mainly detoxes at night, all of those things. So those natural processes have a harder time happening really well if you're not getting to sleep early enough, which then can impact how well your body can respond to cortisol literally the next day. And unfortunately, sleep is one of those things that you can't out supplement. You can't just do more things if you didn't sleep well. I know, it's kind of a bummer. So when we're looking at getting good sleep and we're looking at really regulating our cortisol levels, those things are two very important things that go hand in hand. Cannot emphasize this enough to get good sleep. So that's the first thing. The other thing is with your cortisol responses, and the best thing overall nutritionally, and this is something I teach women how to do all the time, like every day. This is what I have built my programs around and everything, is getting enough good nutrition. Getting enough good nutrition timed throughout the day and supporting your system hormonally overall that way. Now, you guys are in luck. We have a free 5-day coming up. And if you have not taken part in one of our free 5 days, now is the time. Get started. Join the free 5-day. It is a general guide. It is not strict. It is not restrictive. You're not going to be starving. We're focused on getting your system healthier, stronger, functioning better, all of those things. So these nutrition suggestions are there to help guide you to have better cortisol responses throughout the day. That's what this free 5-day is geared towards. Your stress levels, your cortisol response, all of it. So I'm really, really excited to jump into this. So make sure you go in the notes below. If you have not joined before, please make sure you do this. Again, share it with friends, get other people to join with you. It's always fun to do this with a buddy. And we've got some really fun new things for this free 5-day, some great promotional things going on. So you do not want to miss out. So there is that. But with the nutrition, and this is what you'll learn in the free 5-day, waking up, getting enough protein within a certain amount of time of waking up in the morning. So often people are like, well, I'm not hungry, or my stomach is kind of upset, or this and that. That's an indicator that your cortisol levels are not regulated early enough in the morning to help your system be hungry. You should wake up and be hungry and want to eat within the first hour of waking. Now, this doesn't mean eat a huge meal, but it means eat something. It means fueling your body. And I am a huge, huge advocate for getting complete nutrients in: proteins, fats, carbs. Carbs get such a bad rap for, oh, they just make you gain weight. And if you have stress issues, you're going to have blood sugar issues, insulin resistance and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. So don't have carbs. Actually, having enough and the right kind of carbohydrate throughout the day supports healthy insulin levels. And your system needs carbohydrate if you are stressed. The female body, a lot of the stuff that people talk about with going, low carb, no carb, all of those things, and how much better it is for your system, they do all those studies on the male body, not the female body. The female body has a very different reaction to stress, and it's so essential that you are supporting that properly, that you're actually getting those nutrients in throughout the day. So wake up, get good nutrients in, and make sure you're getting those complete nutrients. A complete nutrient is protein, fat, carb. And we'll talk about the ratios. We'll talk about when to get what in throughout the day and everything else. And supporting your system throughout the day. It is amazing how often I hear women say things like, oh, I feel better. I feel better. I've got better energy throughout the day. I can do this, that, and the other better. I can handle my kids. I'm not getting in arguments with my husband anymore, or as much. Or things that would really bother me, little things that would bother me, are not bothering me as much anymore. Yeah. When your stress response is not at the level it should be, think of it like a worn, frayed garment or shirt, right? A little tug on the sleeve is going to cause that tear. a little tug can cause a tear, versus if you have a really strong fabric, a little tug is not going to do much. But if your nervous system is already taxed, if you've already been through so much, then it takes just a little bit to send you over the edge. If you feel overly sensitive to lights, sound, loud sounds, sudden things that happen, somebody accidentally dropping something, and it like causes you to jolt and have this reaction in your body, and you're like, I shouldn't be feeling like that. I shouldn't be doing that. Dang it, what's wrong with me? Nothing. Your nervous system is overly sensitive because it's worn out and it's not given the proper support to work through that. So that's one of the things that can be super helpful. Just fueling your body and giving it those consistent nutrients throughout the day. Eating regularly, eating healthy foods. And again, this doesn't mean that you can't have treats or something, or like, oh, my kid made, banana chocolate chip bread or something. I can't eat that. No, eat it, right? Like that's fine. But it's about getting enough nutrients around that. It's very important, very, very key. And again, you'll notice the difference overall. So there was a gal I chatted with recently. Now we've been working together for a few weeks, and she said one of the things that she noticed was her husband actually said something to her and was like, you seem way more calm. You seem way more evened out. And she was like, I feel that. I feel more even keel throughout the day. Even when things happen, I can respond to them just as quickly. I take care of whatever happens. Somebody spilled milk, the dog threw up on the floor, whatever it is. But it doesn't send your system spiraling because you've got this support overall. So that's what we're doing in the free 5-day. Join now, share it with everybody. There's no limit on how many people you can invite to join with you. But again, you're going to learn so much more about what to eat, when to eat, how to do this throughout the day easily with your schedule, and you will see and feel the positive impact from this. So, okay, that's one of the things. Now, the other thing I'm going to talk about with regulating cortisol levels in relationship to what you're consuming, we're going to talk about caffeine and alcohol. One of the things that I know holds women back, especially from doing something like the free 5-day, is they're worried that they can't have their coffee or whatever, and that they have to quit drinking wine. A lot of times, we will end up using those beverages, coffee in the morning, wine at night, to help our system respond how we want it to, because it's not doing it on its own. If you feel like you can't wake up in the morning and function without a cup of coffee, that's a problem. And it's oftentimes tied to your natural cortisol levels. It's a problem because you should naturally have the energy to get up, to do things, to make decisions, to take care of business, to do whatever you need to do, so that you get to, say you get up, get everybody out the door, kids on the bus to school or camp or whatever they're doing. You get your work done, you run errands, you call to make an appointment, you check things off the list, right? And then after work, I got to make dinner. I got to do this or that, and taking care of things. But to be able to have the energy and the mental capacity to enjoy your life with your family. It's almost unfair to just wake up in the morning and give all of your best to your work. And then to come home and think, oh my gosh, okay, I'm going to get dinner going and I'm going to have a glass of wine with dinner because I need to wind down from my day. It was stressful. I mean, and fair, right? But then to think, gosh, yeah, I got to wind down from my day. And now I'm going to have another glass of wine after dinner to relax and everything else, because you need it to relax. Versus your nervous system naturally coming down during the day and be able to sit and be present. To sit and read a book and not feel agitated, anxious, or too fatigued to go through that. Again, if you're having so much fatigue, that's also related to your cortisol levels, that they're not at the right place for you. So these are things that we can work on. So really, and I don't want to say cut out completely, right? Because I mean, I'm a gal who likes my coffee in the morning too. But if I, for some reason, don't have it, it's not going to really super impact my day, right? I don't drink that much, but if I feel like having a glass of wine, I will. But also, I don't ever feel like I need to have it. Do you know what I mean? To wind down at the end of the day. But if you feel like I need 3 cups of coffee in the morning to get going, I need another cup of coffee midday to make sure I can make it through my work shift. These are signals. It's really hard also to just take that away. What I hear more often, and this comes back to, again, the free 5-day and things that you're going to learn to start to incorporate nutrition and other lifestyle changes to naturally help your cortisol regulate better, is I'll hear women, they'll say, yeah, I've noticed that I'm drinking less coffee. And I'm like, really? They'll be like, yeah, I'll have a cup and then I'll pour myself a second cup, but I'll find it later on the counter and it'll be cold and I'll just dump it because I don't feel like I need it. I had a gal, she was shocked that she started to forget, I'm using air quotes, forget to have coffee in the afternoon at work. She would normally have to take a coffee break and get coffee, and not just a small cup, a big cup, to keep going throughout her day. And she was like, I've just been forgetting completely. That's amazing that you wouldn't need that, right? So again, I'm not against any of these things. There's, we talk about moderation with a lot of this stuff, but a lot of times if your system's been so stressed for so long and you're using caffeine or alcohol to help you through your day, right? That's not moderate. It's incorporated into your day, and it can make it really difficult for your system to naturally regulate its cortisol response on its own. So something to be aware of, and something that we'll talk about more in the free 5-day. So there is that for sure. The other thing I'm going to mention is supplements, herbs, things like that. Now, when people talk about cortisol, there can be certain minerals that are very helpful. B vitamins are very helpful for your stress response and everything. My favorite, of course, is the Adrenal Balance Tincture. This is fantastic. The adaptogens that help you mitigate your cortisol response beautifully. That's really wonderful. But again, I want to make sure that it's so important that just taking a supplement, this is supposed to enhance your positive cortisol response as long as you're already doing the other foundational things. If you're not sleeping, if you're really stressed, if you're drinking 6 cups of coffee a day, I don't care how many herbs you're taking, it's not going to overpower that caffeine, right? So implementing the right things at the right time can really make the biggest difference for you overall, right? But again, I love me some adaptogens. These are some of my favorite things to layer in, but it is important to recognize the right time to do them so that you're actually noticing a positive response with it. So, yeah. It can be really frustrating to feel like you're doing all the right things. I'm trying to do this or that. I'm trying to regulate my stress, yet life keeps coming at me. Having those good basic routines is so powerful. And again, nothing can out supplement great sleep, great nutrition, a good routine, and then also having some grounding techniques and everything else. That's really, really important overall. So we'll talk more about this, but I also love to mention, having a good positive influence in your life. Make sure that you are spending your day, your time, on things that you enjoy, being creative. If you don't have a hobby, get a hobby, find a hobby, right? Learn a new skill. Learn something new that you're like, I've always wanted to pick up painting. Grab even a cheap set of watercolors and start painting. It helps so much, that creative part of the brain. When you are super stressed, it sort of shuts down the parts of the brain that are creative, and being creative helps you solve problems, helps you be more decisive and take action faster. So often we get stuck in the problem. We get stuck in looking at, this is a mess, this is an issue, oh my gosh, what do I do? And you get so focused on it. How do you bypass that completely or jump over that issue? By making decisions and moving forward from there. And parts of the brain that help you do that are the creative parts of your brain. It's kind of cool. And once you start to do this, I have a gal who she started needle felting. And she's like, I love it. I'm almost embarrassed with how much I love it. And she goes, this is making a huge difference in my day. So these are little things that can make a really big difference overall. That's what I got for you guys today. We're going to, again, deep dive into more things. We're going to work together over the course of 5 days for the free 5-day, talk about stress more, talk about hormones, talk about how to support your system through this. And if nothing else, if you're like, yeah, I know a lot of this stuff, or I do a lot of really healthy things, and I still have a hard time, I'm going to really be deep diving into even more specific things to help your system inside out on a cellular level. So make sure you join, make sure you link up with us. And if you have questions, don't hesitate. If you're even wondering, like, is this even going to be worth my time? Right? I'm struggling with this. Send me a message. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions, or a lot of times what I do in these 5 days and what I create for women is based on your feedback. It's based on what you need. So if you're thinking, gosh, I'm really needing this type of help or support, let me know. And oftentimes I'll weave it into our program as well. So thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know if you need anything else. Join the free 5-day in the links below, and I'll see you guys soon. Thank you for joining me on today's episode. If you would like more information, just head on over to drbethwesty.com for all the show notes and information from today's episode. And if you're looking for more community, more support, you can find and follow me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and I would love to see you there.